Hi, my name's Dan, and this video is one in a series of videos I'm doing about assets and some stuff about just use of assets and manipulation of assets in Unreal. I've done some stuff about the Unreal Marketplace, and the last one I showed you how to make copies of assets so that you can delete packs when you've taken what you want out of it. In this one, I'm going to basically explore the question of why moving assets around inside the content folder can be weird and things can be unexpected. And it's all down to a thing called redirectors. So I'm going to try and replicate the issue. What I've got here is a simple third-person template, and I've just got this uh, set of shells. If you've been watching the previous videos, you'll have seen me getting this imported, getting it from the marketplace, and all sorts of things. Um, and what I've got is I've got a content folder, and inside that I've got a used assets folder. And that mesh that I'm using is inside this folder here now. What if I want to move that static mesh inside my organization and my files? And often you find that you get to a point where you want to start organizing things, or I certainly do. So at this point, I've decided that what I want to do is move all the meshes out of this used assets and move them into the content, the root folder of the content. So I'm just going to drag this meshes folder into the content and say move here. And you'd think that that was it, and it was straightforward. So if we look in here, we've got meshes. We've got that mesh, which is the one that we're using. We can see it when we open it up. Okay. But the weird thing is, if we go back into the used assets, that meshes folder is still there. So it hasn't moved the folder. And why not? And it's empty, but it's not moved. And if we go into, let's find the right project, 8.4, and then into the contents. If we go into the content, well, the meshes where we'd moved it to, that's that asset there, 238 kilobytes. But if we go to where it used to be, used assets, meshes, we'll see that there's still a file inside that folder. And that file is invisible to the content folder. So when we're looking at it here, we can't see anything. It still says UAsset, which is the right kind of thing. And we might notice the size of it is really small. It's 2 kilobytes. Okay, and this thing is a thing called a redirector. So what's happened is that although the static mesh has been moved, it's left behind this shadow, this thing called a redirector. And that means that here, where this mesh is in our outliner, actually, when it's looking for that in our content, it's going first to the redirector, and then the redirector is redirecting where we're looking to where the actual mesh is. Why does Unreal do this? Not just move stuff and update everything. It's to do with things like undo and to do with things like version control. So when things get complicated, when you get a lot of people working on something, you might find that one person moving stuff around might mess things up for other people. So there are good reasons for this to be here, but it does cause us this issue that we're kind of going, what's going on here? And if I now actually deleted this used assets folder or moved things to a different project from the used assets folder or from other places, I might think I've got what I need, and I haven't necessarily. Okay, but there is a way to fix this. So, which is that if you go to the content in the browser here, and right click and go to actually update redirect references. What I'm going to show you, I've just remembered something I need to do before that, is I'm going to go back here to the meshes folder and press delete. Now, delete folder meshes, in previous versions of Unreal, it would just not delete. At some point in the relatively near history, it started giving you this dialogue coming up, telling you that there's a redirector there, and you're trying to delete it. So you can delete it by force if you want, but it will break things if you do. So don't. I'll never do that. Right, let's go back to fixing it. Right click on the content and then find update redirector references. When you do that, it's looking for the redirectors and it's updated things so that anything that was referring to the redirector is now referring to the actual asset, or it should be. Excuse me. So now I've got choices. I can keep the redirector or I can delete the unreferenced redirectors. It's got some warnings about what might happen with source control branches. I'm not in that kind of situation, so I'm fine. I'm just going to delete that. Now we're going to look back in this meshes folder where the redirector was. That's disappeared. And we'll try and delete that meshes folder here. And now it will let us. So the key to dealing with these problems is that it used to be called update redirect. So fix up redirectors. In 5.4, it's just been changed to update redirector references. So if you've got previous versions, the term is fix up redirectors in there. So that's what's going on and why moving stuff around inside the content is weird. And that's it from me for now.